you think would happen if the government just disappeared overnight? I'm not saying they die; they just disappear. They're gone.
They just don't happen anymore.
Yeah, they just don't happen. Do you think we would continue to? Do you think people would continue to work? Do you think there'd be a load more crime? Do you think that people who were thinking of committing crimes would just do crimes? Do you think other people would think, well, we're in this now?
I think you would get a few people that band together, and they are the government now, and they take over as much land and property and resources as they can, and then you either join them or you're against them, and that's it. And you're on your own. You're either with them or with another rival group, or you're on your own.
But do you think like trades would continue to happen across the world? Like, would people still dig for oil and keep cars going? Would people continue to build cars?
Well, I think what you'd get is those communities that we just said, like people banding together. They would band together around drilling oil, and they'd be like, this is our resource that we can trade. But it wouldn't be like, we'll ship it to China or anything. It would be like, we'll sell it to anyone that comes up with a car, but there's like 50 people pointing guns at your head while you turn up, and if you don't have the cash or whatever, and then they might just rob you anyway, steal your car or whatever, you know what I mean? It would be
so it's going to shit then. It's going.
I think so.
It's going violent.
I think so. I don't see how, because the first thing that you'd do if it really did happen, you'd go, how am I going to eat? Is the first thing.
That's what I'm saying. Would people continue to manufacture things? We've still got. It's not the government that are powering us to be able to do that. So that exists. That all that infrastructure is still there.
Yeah,
it's
but then why would you go to work? Like what do you get from working? Because money don't mean anything anymore. Do you know what I mean? So like,
what? Just because the government
gold probably would. Well, yeah, because you think.
But we'd still need to trade. This is what I'm saying. We would still need to.
But you wouldn't have money. You'd just barter again. But then you got to trust that, and you'd have to have mates that you can trust, that you'd band together with, to make sure that you aren't going to get robbed every time you want to buy some food off some farmer who's got a bunch of mates that have all got guns that are like,
but when
don't steal our food.
We would still have shops.
I don't think so. I think maybe they would get back to that point, but then at that point we would have had a government that's been established again. Like anarchy just is not going to happen, because it would be really short-lived, and then eventually people go, I need to group together with some people to make sure I don't die when I go to sleep. You know what I mean? So you need to find food and shelter and security, and the only way you can do that is in numbers. Because the first thing you'd think of is, I'm starving, or I'm going to be starving, or how do I feed the kid?
You would think that. You would think that.
And then you'd grab whatever you could, because someone else would grab it from you. So you'd run into whatever shop was nearest and grab as much as you physically could, and then you'd run away as fast as you could to make sure that you kept as much as you'd stolen or taken. Meanwhile, there's hundreds or however many people around you doing exactly the same thing.
But that's with the police gone.
Well, the police is the government, and vice versa. They're all public servants, aren't they?
I just wonder. Imagine there's no government. Ba-da-da-da-da.
And there's no police too.
Do-do-do-do-do. And we'll just kill and murder.
Because the thing is like, if you didn't do that, someone would come and take advantage of you straight away. It's just that, we would revert back into animals. So it's not all animals hurt each other.
Devolution.
But like, you would have to. It'd be survival of the fittest.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you would address people to not make it that way, but if there was no government, it would be tough. It would be tough, for one. But I just wonder if people would go, well, what we wanted to happened now, so look, everything's in place. Let's just continue how we're going.
I don't think it works like that, because someone somewhere is going to want the power. There's no way there wouldn't be some warlord that creeps up. Because you think, if we didn't have the government now, in our current circumstance, do you really think that, the people that are on the right would get along with the people that are on the left? Do you think that people on the left would allow the people on the right to enact what they want as their ideal, and vice versa? Not at all. So, it might start off people going, I think we should do this. No, I think we should do that. But I want to do this. Yeah, but I don't want you to do that. All right, well, I've got a big gun. Tell me it's not going to happen. And, that's how it starts.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I think that's just the way that we're made. So at some point, it's even if you banded together and with a group of people, so there's no leaders, some people will rally around a strong man or a strong woman, and they will go, right, well, the people that all banded together that don't have a leader or whatever, but they've got really nice shoes, and we need the shoes because we don't have the shoes. Let's go and get them. And then, I'm not saying that the leaderless people would be easily conquered, and they might turn around and batter all the people with the leader. But either way, there's conflict. You know what I mean?
I mean, in truth, what would happen if our government disappeared is that someone from another country will come over and steal us.
Exactly.
So,
but then that's all that we're saying there is, instead of on the community level or on the local level, that's just on the national level. But that'll happen anyway with government.
Yeah. I mean, as much as they're slagged off, we do need a government. We do. It would actually be chaos. So maybe not run in such a ramshackle way as it has been, but definitely there needs to be... I mean, let's face it. The government have got their government, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got their lives.
They've got their overlords looking over them as well.
Oh, I see.
Pulling the strings.
Yeah, well, of course. So,
I wonder who we owe. Who do you think we owe money to? Like, really? Is it the aliens?
Do you know what? I'm getting less and less... I don't not believe that there are such things as, like, other terrestrials or whatever. Other aliens or what, like other... either like us or completely different to us. Like, of course, I do believe in space, if you know what I mean. But I'm
not the moon, though.
Not the moon. The moon's fake and hollow, and also a spaceship,
and also cheese.
I watched the documentary Wallace and Gromit, Grand Day Out. But my point is, I am 100% convinced that if there are aliens, we've never met them. Or if they have, they've never been documented. And I don't believe anything that's coming out at the minute about all the tic-tac stuff. Because it's always so convenient. It's always so conveniently laid out. But never with enough proof to make you go, okay, that's true. There's never a good photo. There's never a good video. There's never anything that's really believable.
All right, well, let me try and convince you then.
Okay, go on.
All right. And I'm going to convince you with a matchbox.
Okay. I haven't seen a matchbox in ages.
Just found it in my pocket.
Oh.
If I could communicate with all aliens through this, would you believe me if you had a...
Yeah.
If I could get all the aliens in the world in this matchbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the world or the universe?
What is each of those things?
I don't know.
Okay.
Simulation.
Let me try. All right.
All right.
Calling all aliens. Calling all aliens. Nothing there.
No.
Yeah, no, it's shit then.
It's all bollocks, isn't it? Yeah.
They don't exist.
Thanks for that.
No, it's all right. I tried.
Yeah, well, you convinced me.
Yeah. Well, I've convinced myself that there are no such thing.
Yeah, it's just one of those, isn't it? It's like there's never going to be any kind of proof until one of them turns up and goes, right?
Although, how do you explain Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, they both look like aliens, but that doesn't mean they are lizard people.
What if we're the aliens? Yeah, the people before us have taken over.
I mean, the thing is I am more open to the sort of Graham Hancock thing of like, there were lost civilizations and stuff. Makes absolute sense. Like, literally no evidence. That's like concrete evidence. But there's about as much evidence for aliens as there is for what Graham Hancock says. Like, there was ancient civilizations, and then some great flood happened or whatever, maybe caused by a meteor hitting the Earth. There's more. That makes more sort of common sense to me than anything like Tic Tacs and spaceships in the sea. I'm not saying they don't exist. I don't really care. I just think, like, if it really mattered, then why is it now that the government in the States and stuff are kind of going, yeah, we don't know what these crafts are during COVID, during like the Epstein stuff. It's like, it just seems so very convenient that now all of a sudden, forever they were like, no, they don't exist and you're stupid. And I think that's what they even invented the term conspiracy theorist over, wasn't it? Wasn't it aliens?
No doubt.
I think so. I don't know, but but now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, aliens exist. And it's like,
as though it's just natural now.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
Or like, they're not saying that they exist, I suppose, but they're kind of like disclosing loads of stuff and go, we don't know what this is. There's absolutely no way, to my mind, that any kind of like CIA or MI6 or whatever, in military intelligence organization, would surely like admit they don't know what something that could be a threat is, because they don't. It's just the perception, isn't it? You wouldn't like admit, I don't know what that is, because you'd want, if there was any chance that it was China or like Russia or any kind of like identifiable potential enemy, then you'd be like, yeah, we know what it is. Of course we do. Mean shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. Don't really care. Mudflood.
What? Describe Area 51. Right, what is it in a sentence?
It's an army base or an air force base. It's where, I don't know, but I think it's where they flew. I might be making this up, but I think it's where they flew the nuclear bombs when they bombed Japan.
Right.
I think that's where they flew from. I don't know if that's true.
So where's the connection with aliens?
Well, they say it's Roswell, isn't it? They say that's where the aliens crashed, and then they took those planes. Did you hear what? I can't remember what she's called now. She's an author. She's been on the Joe Rogan thing, and a few other podcasts, actually, Danny Jones and whatnot.
Julia Donaldson.
Yeah. No. Smeds and the Smoods, isn't it? That's a alien book. No, she says that it was like Stalin and the Russians. They like got these like disabled children and like surgically altered them and then crashed them there, like knowing it would kill them, to kind of like, trick the Americans or like make them double bluff and go like, we can put, this is a thing that you're going to have to talk about in your paper, but like, really, we both know, we're not going to admit it, but on the down low, we both know it was us, the Russians. And that makes a lot of sense as well, doesn't it?
So why wouldn't they just come out and say it then?
Well, there was a thing that, what's he called? The moon conspiracy theorist bloke. Bart something.
Oh, right.
Bart Cyrell, something like that. He's one of those that he's a filmmaker. He's the one that was he the one that got punched by Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin?
Buzz Aldrin punched
called him a
someone,
coward.
didn't he?
I don't know
Really?
if it was him, but he's the one that interviewed that astronaut in his home, and then he showed him a load of hoax stuff and was like, "This is a hoax," and he told him to get out, and he kicked him up the arse. He said that he thinks it's blackmail, and like the Russians and the Chinese and the commies, they know that the Americans didn't go to the moon, and they're using it as blackmail against the American government to like either stop them just conquering them, like stop the Americans like conquering the East, or extorting them for technology and go, well, if you don't give it to us, if you don't give us your business or whatever, like if you don't give us all your manufacturing and help us grow our economy and, you know, basically take over you, then we're going to tell everyone that you didn't go to the moon and give all of the evidence. So, and it's kind of like, well, if that is true, he's, you know, this moon hoax, this moon denier, moon conspiracy theorist says like they need to tell the truth. The Americans need to tell the truth so that everyone can move on, and then we can't be blackmailed anymore and all that kind of stuff. But I think like if it was true that you know the Chinese and the Russians and everyone is extorting the Americans because they're holding them ransom with all this proof, why don't they call their bluff? Because ultimately all it will really do is it will just either turn people against the Russians or the Americans, but they're already divided anyway. I don't know. What do you think?
I have no thoughts.
Fair enough.
I don't. I just think not a lot, really. Not a lot.
And on that note,
no. Was it proving? Was it proving not to say anything? The reason I asked about what is Area 51 in a sentence and what's the connection with aliens is that it's been going on for so long.
Yeah.
It just seems like a really elaborate, secret to try and keep.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's a place that exists. And I'm just wondering. I just don't see what the point is. We get all these reports as well. Oh, apparently the next alien invasion is going to be November. By the way,
Yeah.
How do we know that?
Yeah.
How do we know that?
Yeah. It's just stupid, isn't it? It's just stupid.
Yeah. I've got not a lot to say on it because it's just I think it's dumb.
I think it's fun for a time, but then after a while you're like, some people lose their lives to this, you know? Some people lose everything to this.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, I hope I don't go down those kind of rabbit holes one day and never come back.
Yeah, I love it. I love a good conspiracy theory, and but I just can't get on board with the space. What's the reason that they just show us clues? They just give hints that they exist.
Yeah. Well, some would say that they're getting caught. You know, they catch them on radar and stuff.
Like Pokemon.
Yeah. Gotta catch them all.
So they catch them on radar.
Yeah, and then they military, you know, fighter jets and stuff, fast jets chasing them and stuff.
So our jets are better than their jets?
No, because they can't catch them or whatever.
Right.
I don't really know. That's what I mean. This is what I mean. That's why it just seems like it's bollocks.
Yeah. What if we're more advanced than them? Everyone's banging on about how amazing they are. We can't get close enough to catch them. We don't know anything about the real what's going on board on them. What if they're really stupid? What if they're thick and their stuff isn't as advanced? That's why we were saying, I think last time, why put lights on the outside of your craft so you can sort of make out that something's there, but sort of not. It's kind of, you can see it from down on Earth, Like if you look up, a load of yokels going, oh, there's lights in the sky. Sort of, but they won't do anything. They won't come. Why wouldn't they just land on that yokel looking at, or in the middle of a thing? If they're so advanced, even if we were going to go and batter them, would they be armoured? Are they impenetrable? Are they not able to be hurt? Are they shit?
Yeah.
Are they shit? Are they worse than us? And that is why there's no sign of life. Well, either they don't exist, or they're just terrible at being what they are.
Yeah. Because the thing as well is, it's like they say, some of these people say, like, when they have these encounters that they don't speak and it's all like telepathy and all that. It's like, well, if that's the case, surely they can read our thoughts, and so they must understand that, like, we would be incredibly curious to know what they are. And if they are, like you say, like more advanced than us or whatever, which they must be if they're able to travel through space and time and all of that.
We can.
Then, well, maybe we can. I don't know. But like, if you believe like the narrative, they can travel through space and time and dimensions and all stuff, and we can't. And they're supposed to be like telepathic and all that, and we aren't. Or at least some people say we are, but whatever.
Well, we must be.
Well, but what I'm saying is if they can read our thoughts, or like, plant thoughts in our heads or whatever, then surely they must be able to see that we would just be really curious about them. And what is in their interest in not coming forward and telling, and like outing themselves? Because ultimately they can't, like, what do they not gain from coming forward? Because if they are like secretive and they're doing all this and they live under the sea and all that kind of stuff, well, telling us that they exist in like in a provable state is not going to change that, because even if we went looking for them,
we've not found them in
exactly
however many years.
Exactly. And there was this thing going on because I watched Danny Jones's podcast, and he had someone on going like, there's loads of like ship's logs from the 1800s. So well, they've been messing with us for hundreds of years at this point. So even if we knew, oh yeah, they definitely live in the sea, we still wouldn't be able to find them, because we barely know what's in the sea. Like there's like a really insignificant percentage of the sea that we've surveyed and know about. So even if we like, the world's governments got together and went, right, we're going to just survey every inch of the bloody ocean to find them, they can then go in the sky, apparently, and they're also invisible, but they're not, and we can catch them every now and then, but we can't. And it's just like, to be fair on them, right? The aliens.
On the aliens. If they can live underwater and they can fly to space to somewhere that we can't find them, I'm giving it up for them. I am giving it up for them.
Yeah, well done.
That would be the best, wouldn't it? That's the best. You're the best.
Yeah.
Or you're a bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah, why don't you come and live on the land? It's not nice, unless you're like sea people. Maybe they're crab people, like in South Park. Crab people.
Yeah, what if they can only breathe underwater? And what if they can only breathe in space? So in between.
Yeah. Well, why would they come here then?
To go to the sea.
Yeah, but they could just be in infinite space.
Yeah, they want to go on holiday.
Oh, fair enough.
Seaside
property. And, it's like an Airbnb, but under the sea. Hey. I don't know. I just think it's nonsense. But what I think is really nonsense is the fact that people can go on podcasts and speak with like absolute confidence and bring up reams of evidence and stuff about things that they can't prove, but because they like wrote a book or whatever, they're speaking with like absolute supreme confidence. Because I was watching a couple of them like in the last week, and I was just thinking like, right, you've just spouted a load of stuff, like people in academia just spout a load of stuff, most of them, and you're like, well, you're either right or you're wrong. They don't really affect me all that much. It's just weird that we live in a time where like you really can say whatever you want. you know, you could make up anything, but then like just say, oh, I read it in some ancient book or whatever. Because like most people are not going to go and read that ancient book. But a lot of people will. And I'm sure if this episode was to like blow up, then we would be absolutely slated by everyone in the alien world, the conspiracy theory world, and we would just be inundated with hate. But I would say as well, I would love it if there were aliens that, I mean, like I say, I think there are like other beings in the galaxy or whatever. But I really just don't believe what's coming from the government on it, or the CIA on it, or whoever it is, because ultimately it's like, I remember COVID. You know what I mean? And I just think like sometimes we could stand to just like just do the laundry or something that's worthwhile.
What would you be more surprised about? God being real or aliens being real?
I don't know. I think they're both equal, aren't they? Do you think? Do you think that's quite equal in terms of like, it would be life changing if there were aliens and they come here.
What would be more life changing?
I think God being like provably real.
I would love absolute proof.
Yeah, I would as well.
There is a book called Absolute Proof about that. Well, I mean, I would say that if he was real, let's not go down this rabbit hole, but I would say that if he was real, then there probably wouldn't be very many needs for prisons.
I don't know, to be honest. I just feel like, I think it would be one of those things. It would just take away the biggest fear that everybody has, which is death. Because you'd be like, well, one way or the other, I know I know there is something else.
What if he's real, but he's like, heavens, bollocks.
Yeah, it's a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
Well, I think even that would be reassuring, because you would be like, okay, we have to make this place really amazing now then.
Okay, well, what if he's real and he's like, I'm not telling you whether heaven's real?
Well, that's just nasty, isn't it?
Is it, though?
That's mean.
Is it, or is it giving people hope?
Why would it give you hope, though?
Well, because if he came out and said, conclusive proof, I'm real, and by the way, heaven's real, people would go, right, I'm off to jump off a cliff then.
Do you think that? Well, I think some people would, yeah. But I don't think so. I think people would just be like, oh, okay, cool.
Or is there something about if you commit suicide, you don't go to heaven?
Yeah, because it's purgatory. Do they still believe in that? Because I know that was Catholics, wasn't it? But then they were like, no, like we got rid of that. Because I don't get the Catholic faith. You know, I'm not trying to slate anyone or anything, but it's like they do have a get out of jail free card, don't they? Like on their deathbed, they can just go, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's like, all right, heaven. You know, it seems awfully convenient that you could live a life of sin and horribleness. But then when you know where you've got like hours left or whatever, you could turn around and go, yeah, I didn't mean any of it. Yeah, all right. Say 15 Hail Marys or whatever. And I think that cheapens their, to me, you know, again, I'm not slating anyone. My missus is a Catholic, but it's like, it does feel very cheap, that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just a last ditch effort is to leave a nice story at the end.
But it's just like, surely that cheapens your religion if you can be a sinner forever and then, I repent. Because, you know, how many times has that been emptily said? And it's like, you know, the founder of the Catholic Church is whatever that bloody emperor was, wasn't it?
Ming.
No.
Emperor Ming.
You know, and on his deathbed, he was like, yeah, I'm a Catholic. Even though he lived his life as a pagan. It just seems like it's a bit cheap, isn't it? It's a bit like, well, you can have all the benefits of the afterlife according to Catholicism, but you don't have to live like that, even though their dogma and their doctrine is like you have to live a certain way and to a certain amount of rules and all that kind of stuff. Don't know. I just don't see the net benefit for them as well, because they would have to live in a world full of people that would do that and then live debaucherously. And
but what if he came down, he said, I'm real, heaven's not real,
right,
but hell is?
I think we'd have to ask some questions. Is there any way out of hell? You know,
you're dead. No, you're dead. Here's where you go if you've committed bad things during it. So repenting your sins doesn't mean a thing. Don't mean a thing.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that hell swing.
Yeah.
Well, I think then you'd just be like, there's no... Yeah, that's the end of life. I think people just go and do the most horrible things they can.
No, hell's real.
Yeah, but if you can't not go to hell, you might as well bring hell here.
No. So there's death, and then there's nothing. Or there's death and you go to hell if you've done bad things.
Well, I think this. I mean, you're always going to get a certain amount of people that are going to do bad things, whether even if there was hell, because they want to live in that. You know, they.
I mean, this is like being, tarred burned at the.
But even so, people would think, well, I'll be able to get the devil on my side. You know, people think that now, don't they?
Devil doesn't exist.
Yeah, but they think that.
There's no control. It's just.
I don't know. I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those things where like your nature would come through, but I think if you knew that God existed and he would give you some kind of favor if you lived a certain way.
3 strikes.
Yeah, I just it's one of those, isn't it? It's like I actually admire people that have faith, because I think like you must live with a certain peace that I don't think I'd ever have. Although I'm not, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not at war with the afterlife as much as I used to be. So I think, kind of evolved. But obviously, I'm when the end is nigh, I'm probably going to be like, I think they do have a certain peace that we probably can't ever attain. And I think life is probably a lot different for those people. I don't know. But on that note, I don't really know what more we've got to go on.
Oh.
Thanks for watching.
I guess.